A French court has reportedly ordered Christine Lagarde, the head of the International Monetary Fund, to face trial over her role in a payout of some $434 million to businessman Bernard Tapie. France's main prosecutor recommended in September that magistrates drop their investigation into Lagarde for alleged negligence. A special tribunal qualified to judge the conduct of politicians believes the 57-year-old may have abused her position as finance minister to help a controversial businessman. Let's discuss this further with Daniel Ranches, who's live for us in Washington. Daniel, this is obviously shocking news coming out of France. Give us a background here. Why exactly is Ms. Lagarde facing trial?
So wind back to 1993, and this French businessman Bernard Tapie wanted the help of the then state-run bank Crédit Lyonnais to sell his business, Adidas, the sports company. Well, later on, Bernard Tapie alleged that Crédit Lyonnais made money out of reselling the stake and essentially defrauding him out of several hundred million euros. They went through a lengthy trial process that was not resolved, and then in 2007, when Lagarde was French finance minister, she decided to put the case in for arbitration, and Tapie was given 400 million euros. So it was not an unsubstantial sum, and it was from state coffers. So there was a lot of political heat on this.
But Daniel, the court that was tasked with arbitrating this matter is the one that awarded this payout to Mr. Tapie and not Ms. Lagarde. So why is she being held responsible?
Well, I think there's a sense, an allegation that this was all to do with political connections. The fact that this decision was made, it was an unusual decision, and it was an unusually high payout. So they're accusing her of negligence, but her lawyer has now come out and said that she acted in the best interest of the state and in full compliance with the law. On top of that, the IMF executive has come out and said that they have confidence, continue to express confidence in her abilities in the job. So there is a political element to this, obviously. But as to the fact that the prosecutor has said that they didn't recommend a prosecution, and yet the magistrates and the court decided to bring her in, this is something that Lagarde's lawyer says they are going to fight.
So what happens now, Daniel? Are we likely to see her step down as the IMF head if the trial goes ahead?
Very unlikely that she's going to step down anytime soon, especially given that vote of confidence that the IMF Executive Board continues to have in her. She's giving no indication. Indeed, she's coming towards the end of her first 5-year term, and she's given an indication that she is willing to go in for another 5 years. So from a jobs point of view, at that perspective, I think that the Executive Board has felt that she has been effective. And the lawyers expressed a great deal of surprise that given what the prosecutors had said about recommending dropping the case, that this has come up at all. But certainly I think it brings a lot more heat to the IMF at a time, when there are many challenges that Lagarde faces in her job in the global economy. And also, I think from a public position, it brings back some of the memories, doesn't it, of the former head of the IMF who was prosecuted himself for other types of incidents. But certainly it brings unwelcome distraction for the IMF head at this time. And certainly I think it's something that she is going to fight very hard to avoid going to that French court.
All right, Donald Ranches in Washington, thank you.